Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another edition of Lisa Renee TV. If you have not yet subscribed, please do so today before you leave, and make sure to share on all your social media networking sites that you happen to be on at this time. Welcome back. Welcome back. All right, I'm back in front of the camera. You know, this is one of my favorite places to be, just to sit with you guys and just chill just for a minute. Happy Sunday. I hope everybody's Sunday is going well. It's very early for me. It's like 8:24 a.m. So I'm going to church a little bit later today. But I just wanted to swoop in here real quick and drop this little message on you. So this is a topic that is real near and dear to my heart. I actually thought of it like a couple of days ago, a couple of nights ago. And I think God woke me up in the morning, like early in the AM. It was like probably like 3 a.m., 2 a.m., and I woke up in the morning with this message on my heart. And I just think it's really important. So a little backstory. So when I was in college, there was this club there called the Entrepreneurship Club. So I joined the E Club, and if you notice, I'm looking over here to the right. I'm just looking at my notes. So I initially joined the E Club in college for friends. I was looking for new connections and friendships and things like that. But I believe that God placed me there in that club for a reason. I didn't know the reason at the time. I just thought I was there making friends. But there was an ultimate, reason and mission and motive for why I was there in the Entrepreneurship Club. So what God was doing was he was planting a seed in me, and he was saying that this too shall pass. Meaning I may start small, but I will reap big. Okay, so just pay attention to that. You may start small, but you will reap big. So, it's like Drake said, I started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here. So he's been nourishing that seed ever since. Okay, and guess what? The good news is that he's not only doing it for me, but he's also doing the same thing for you. So let's start with this question. What is your passion in life? Like, what do you think? And you can have multiple passions, that's fine. But what is your ultimate passion? What's your passion in life? What are you passionate about? What gives you zeal? What drives you? And what do you feel your calling is? That's another thing to really think about. What do you feel your calling in life is? Like, what do you do, better than, the average person, or, most people, or not even that. It's actually a little bit bigger than that. Your calling, it's something, it calls you, basically. A calling basically is something that you feel you cannot live without. You must do this, no matter how tired you are exhausted you are, how defeated you feel sometimes. You are driven by this thing. So that is your calling. It fills you up. It gives you purpose. It is your life's mission, or at least it is a part of your life's mission. So what would you say your calling is? And if you've never asked yourself that question, it's time to. It's time to kind of take a step back and really sit with yourself and say, well, what the heck do I want to do with my life? Like, what do I like? What is driving me? What is God calling me to do? That is the bigger question that you want to stop and kind of ask yourself, like, why am I even here? I had to ask myself that question years ago. I was working downtown in my city, and at this job I really hated, and I just was like, I'm not a fan of this job, and I'm not even a fan of being here on earth, at the moment, because I just couldn't figure nothing out. I didn't understand why I was here. I didn't understand why I was working there, and it just was frustrating for me. And it didn't become clear to me that was just a small part of the bigger journey that I was on, and I was just there to be molded and to be strengthened and to learn things about myself. I learned skills and capabilities I didn't know I had. I grew as a person. I also met a lot of beautiful people who are still in my life today. So, that it had reason. That season had reason. So it had reasons for why I was there. And so now today I can look back and really appreciate that experience that I had. But what is your calling? What are you being called to do? So this is something that you want to get in prayer about if you are confused about this thing, or you may know your calling already, but you don't really know how to access it. You have no idea how to get started working in it, especially if it's like a part of your career. Like you have no idea how to even do it. So sometimes let's say you're in a job now and you're like, I don't even like this job. Why am I even here? Like I kind of like I just was saying. Sometimes, I remember Jan Van Zant saying something like, he won't give you the whole slice of bread at first, he'll give you crumbs. So, he doesn't want to overwhelm you, and you, in those crumbs, you are learning lessons in those crumbs and getting strengthened. So sometimes you may be in like a position or something that you really, you may not even like it, or you may feel like it doesn't have anything to do with what you were called to do. But it kind of does, because you're going through this season and you're picking up these skill sets or strengthening your skill sets that you already have. And it's really just building you up for what is to come. So it's all basically, think of it like a puzzle, and it's just little pieces that are connecting to create the whole picture. So that is how God is looking at it, and he, wants you to see it that way too eventually. So it's just, you're just working on a puzzle, and you're just connecting the dots. You're just connecting the pieces. That's all you're doing. So don't get discouraged if you feel like I'm not where I'm supposed to be. You're actually exactly where you're supposed to be. So, so you're totally fine. And you actually, the more pieces that you connect together, you get closer and closer to completing the puzzle. So, it's all good. Everything is going smoother than you think it is. So definitely get into prayer about this ASAP. And don't be afraid of the hard work that will come behind it. Yeah, it's going to be some hard work. So a lot of times the easy part is prayer. Is praying about something, asking God for something. But when he asks you for something, meaning he's going to ask you like, okay, you prayed to me for this. So now I'm going to in turn ask you to do this in order to make that happen. Can you do your part? That's when people fall short. A lot of times they're like, so I got to do that? You want me to do that, Lord? I don't know. That's time consuming. I'm like, well, you asked for that though. So you want this, big house and this nice car, and you want to be able to go on vacation whenever you want to with your family. You want to, you want this lavish, luxurious sort of dream, career. You want to quit your 9-to-5 for good. Yay to that. But he's asking you to do a certain task in order to get to that, but you're telling him no, or you don't know, if you will be able to complete it. So what happens then is you send yourself on a delay process, or a detour process, where you may, maybe you'll go down, you'll try to find some other options, so that may detour you. But it's okay, God can bring you back, or you just delay yourself further out. So then you be asking God, why did it take me so long? I asked for this, a couple of years ago, Lord. Why did it take me so long? He's like, well, I asked you to do this, right afterwards, and you're taking so long. So it's actually like not him that's holding you back, it's you. Sometimes we are our own worst enemy. We get right in our doggone way. So, kind of think about that when you go in prayer and ask for something, be serious about it and be ready for the hard work. Don't let the hard work scare you, because it's just the beginning. So, so if he asks you to write that book or open that restaurant, a lot of times what scares us is not that we don't want to do what God's asking or we don't want to build our dreams, is that we don't know how. The how always scares us. Sometimes it's the why, or the what, but other times it's like the how. How is this going to happen? How is this going to come together? And then what's going to happen after that? we get like so caught up, and it's like a mental crux that we get ourselves into. And it's like, instead of worry about all the other details, he gonna give you the other details as you go along. You ain't gotta worry about all that. You just gotta do one thing. I ask you to write a book. Just write the book, okay? Thank you. Can you just write the book? Can you do that? Can you you know, get ready to open your restaurant, or start researching how to open a restaurant, or whatever, like, that's all you have to do. Is just, it's the crumbs first before the whole slice of bread. So just remember that. All you gotta do is eat the crumbs. That's it. You ain't gotta worry about all this other stuff. Because all you're gonna do is boggle yourself down mentally, and you ain't gonna get nothing done. So, it's just something to think about. Okay. Another thing I noticed is that kids today are growing up totally different than a lot of us did. So they're investing, they're getting their own businesses, they're really leading the pack. And nobody ever told us that we could do that. I feel we were always told that we could not do something, or just told to go to school and get a good job. So I know my mother's, the way she grew up, and her sisters and her brother, like, they grew up that way, like, oh, go to school and do well in school, do very well in school, and you'll be able to get a good paying job and you can retire. So that was like the old mantra, and that's old and outdated. It really is. So it's like, who's doing that anymore? Like, we're not, no. Not saying having a job is a bad thing. I'm not job shaming. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it is a start, but it's not an end. You should not want to be just working for somebody else who don't care about you anyway. You could drop dead, and they would just replace you within 15 minutes or less. Because it'd be a lot of these jobs with high turnover rates, baby. They will replace you in 5 minutes and not really even care. You like you never existed. So why do you want to work for somebody like that until you retire, until you're like 60 or 70 something years old? Like, why would you do that to yourself when you could be living the life of your dreams and have time freedom? That is the biggest thing, because you cannot get time back. Money is replaceable. I can lose $300 and get $300 back like that. But if I lose 300 hours of my time, I'm probably not going to get that back. I can possibly ask God for it back, but it's hard to get time back. So why do you want to consistently waste time with people who don't care about you? So it's okay to start at a job. Yes, we all usually do. But you want to work your way to a point where you can say, I work for myself. And that goes back to my, me going into being in the E-Club, an entrepreneurship club, when I was in college, which was a few years ago for me. So yeah, I'm still young. If y'all didn't notice, I'm a youngin', I'm a baby. So that was just a few years ago for me. But anyway, yeah, so yeah, you don't want to do that. I was like, I know my mom's generation, they were told that same thing, of like, oh, go to school, and after that you be able to get a good job, and retire from it. And then of course that was passed on to me as well, and my cousins and whatnot, my brother, so of course, like, it's the same old thing. And so it's like I noticed we were repeating the same old repetitive crazy, it's like a sick cycle that we're in, because this is what we were taught. And so it's what we all this is all we know. But I'm going against the curve and I'm learning more. So the more I learn, the more that I grow as an individual. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that, because I'm going to break this cycle. I'm going to break this curse. I'm going to break this cycle, and we're going to do something different. So, because it's a poverty curse, that's what it is. I'm like, you're going to be poor, and you're not going to like life, and you're going to be barely holding on, and you're going to have just enough or not enough. You're barely making ends meet. Like, being poor is not cute, and sometimes being poor is an option. There's some cases where being poor is not an option. It's just something that happened to you, circumstantial. There are other cases where being poor is an option, is a choice that you are making. Is what I mean when I say it's an option. It's a choice that you made because you can do better. You can do better. So do better, So sometimes it starts with breaking a generational curse, like just doing something different. How do you break a generational curse? You go in reverse To break the curse, go in reverse. That means doing the opposite of what was said to do in the first place. So your daddy or something was an alcoholic, you don't touch liquor. Or you drink very little liquor. There you go. You just work in reverse. So that's what we're going to do here. I'm like, they say get a job, you go to college. I have a college degree. I have a degree in I have a bachelor's of arts degree in magazine journalism. Okay. So I got that. Whoop-dee. Yay. I'm proud of it. You know, I'm very proud of it. You know, not to underestimate it at all. But I know I don't want to be, you know, doing no 9 to 5 forever, because it's just not, you know, it's not cute. It's not cute. We're not doing that. I know I want my time freedom because I know what I deserve, and I know what you deserve, and you deserve better. You know too. so you know, the key is business ownership, or connecting with a business that already exists. Because you may say, well, I really don't want to own my own business per se. Okay, that's fine. Maybe connecting up with a company, you know, going into business with somebody else as a partner, a silent partner, or, you know, connecting with a company that already exists and you can have a couple of shares in a company. Those are other ways, you know. Some people do crypto, some people do stocks. You know, there's so many ways that you can make extra income. I mean, it's crazy ways. There's crazy money out here, and you be crazy not to be trying to get it. You know, so in other ways besides 9 to 5, like it's so many other ways to make money. So, you know, hey, I'm just saying, you know. So yeah, but I just noticed that today kids are so different. You know, I'm like, man, they, you know, they really are doing this thing. You know, I keep hearing about these awesome children. I'm like, we weren't like that. You know, I'm like, nah, we were just told to, you know, go to school and get good grades. That was like the focus, was getting good grades and getting into college, and that was it. You know, like we never, I don't think anybody ever really, you know, made us feel like our dreams could really come true. Now, my mother did. Like, my mother has always made me and my brother feel like we could do anything we wanted to do. She always believed in us. So, and I love her so much, you know, for that and everything she's done for us. But I don't know. I just feel like it was just different. So, anyway, so people always say life is short, right? Which I hate. Like, I hate when people say that. I'm like, I don't think it's that short. I disagree. It's quite long, actually. So why spend the majority of your time working for an employer and being unhappy? So that's my whole point that I'm making. Invest in you. Own your own business or become part of an existing business, kind of what I was just saying. Do what works best for you as long as you're walking in purpose. So that gets back to going in prayer. As far as, you know, figuring out what do I want to do? Do I want to own my own business? Do I want to get a part of an existing business or whatever? That's the how, like what or the what, you know. So God can help you figure out what is best for you, because it's going to be different for everybody, right? Adopt a living well mindset. E-Club all day, every day. That's what I'm saying. Hey, entrepreneurship club. That's what we're doing over here, okay? Yes, Flavor Crew. That's what we're doing. That's our mantra. We E-clubbing over here, baby. Okay, and we gonna adopt a living well mindset, because living well is the best revenge. Okay, as Oprah says. All right, and that way you can teach your kids to dream out loud. They will never have to work for anyone in life. That's the biggest part for me, is passing that down to my kids. And that's how you break generational curses too. Once you get out of the curse, you can now free other people who haven't even been born yet. So, you know, I want to give this to my kids, and then they can give this to, you know, their kids, which is my grandkids, you know, and my great-grand. So I want them to, you know, not be working for anybody either. I'm like, we got to break this cycle. I'm like, we done. We done. Especially as black people, do you know that we own fewer businesses than any other race? You know, like, doesn't make any sense. So it's like, why is that? Like, the fact that we, you know, it's like, especially like the hair business, for instance, like, we know a lot of, you know, Korean, Chinese people and stuff like that, like they be owning these beauty supply stores and stuff like that, but who's using the hair? Us. So you like, so wait a minute, you're not getting any profit off of this though. They are, so, but you use this industry, like you are a big part of this industry. So, it doesn't make any sense. You see what I'm saying? So stop getting used. You don't want to be getting used by other people. They making money off of you, but you ain't making no money. So we got to get out of these curses, y'all. The last thing I want to leave you with is a little bit of inspiration to get through your week. So this comes from Habakkuk 2. I'm just reading a couple of verses here. I will stand at my watch and station myself on the ramparts. I will look to see what he will say to me and what answer I am to give to this complaint. Now here's the Lord's answer. Listen carefully. Then the Lord replied, write down the revelation and make it plain on tablets so that a herald may run with it. For the revelation awaits on appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false. Though it linger, wait for it. Will certainly come and will not delay. Did you hear what God said? Write down your vision or write down your revelation. Same thing. Write it down. Make it plain and clear. Now, it may tarry, which means it may linger, but it's going to come at an appointed time. So God has a time for everything. But you have to get serious about your vision, your life vision. Write it down. I write down goals all the time. I wake up in the morning. God be waking me up in the morning. I wake up, I use the bathroom, and then I go ahead and write down my goals and visions for the week and everything. Whatever he's giving me, I write it on down. Okay? That's how I got to this video, honey. I woke up, like I said, I told you, I woke up like 3 a.m., 2 a.m. I was like, Lord, this is a serious one. All right. So, yeah, be serious about your life vision. Because God is. He's serious about you, so be serious about him and about your vision that he's giving you. Write it down and pray over it. Have an honest conversation with God about it. It will definitely happen when you least expect it to, as long as you follow the steps. So lastly, I just want to remind you, follow the steps. Don't be afraid of the hard work and just go for it, honey, okay? All right, so I'm going to leave y'all to have a great week and a great weekend, because we in the weekend now, so that's what we concentrating on. So have a great and a blessed weekend. I will drop anything you need in the more info box below. You can feel free to follow me on social media. Feel free to pick up a copy of my latest novel, which is Long Way to Love. It is still available on Amazon at a discounted price. I believe the last time I checked, it was a discounted price. So you can go ahead and pick that up, if you will. And I will chat with you guys a little bit later. Love you to death. Bye.